Messenger, can you hear me? This William. Hello.
Hey, William.
Can you hear me? Clear?
Just a sec.
Yeah, no, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Yes.
Okay, how about the quality? Right now, I'm in the office.
Quality is good.
That's good.
Yeah.
Let me remove this one. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Maybe I need to move a little far. That will be better.
So, can you, yeah, your adjustment a little bit. Yes, that is fine.
Sure.
Yes.
Okay, let me see how I'm able to change my virtual background.
I'm also trying to change. Let me just.
Okay.
I think you are, once you are on, you cannot do.
I think should be able to do. Let me check. Okay. Okay, why cannot see myself?
Oh, you need to switch off your camera, then change. I think then it is coming. Yes. Oh, you need to switch off your camera first, then no, it's not happening. You know what is happening day by day. Zoom and every company is changing the policy. So earlier it used to be on fly, you can change. Now I'm also finding difficult. I've been doing it on Zoom for last 1.5 years.
Yeah. So right now it's quite interesting. I cannot see myself.
No, I can see. I can see you. No problem.
You can see me, right? You can see me, right?
Absolutely.
I suppose I can see myself, in the right side.
Okay.
I'm able to, to change my virtual background.
Give me a second. Let me stop my.
Yeah. Okay. That's okay.
Now I can see.
Okay.
Can you just push your camera a little back so that your head is cutting on the top?
Hold on, give me 1 second. I need to change my virtual background.
Hey, Vivek.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, everyone. Hi, Kushal. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing good, sir. Kushal, can you just push your camera or pull your flap of the laptop towards you? Your head is to touch.
So right now you can see my virtual background, right?
Yeah.
Seagate.
Yeah.
It's visible now. Seagate.
Vivek, your camera, your display is not coming so clear. Can you just see the camera if there is anything on top of the camera? Yeah. Williams is fine now. Yes.
Right now it should be okay, right? Because I changed my virtual background, should be okay.
Absolutely. It's coming up. So we are in practice mode now. In 2 minutes time and 53. So in 2 minutes time, I'll make it live. I'll start, introduce the entire agenda, everybody. Then I'll bring in Vivek. Vivek will introduce William as per my email. Then we'll go as per the flow.
I think editor file should be better, right? Let me share my screen, then you can see my you are able to see my screen or not. Okay. Can I see my screen right now?
Yes, yes, we can.
Okay, you see the two screen or?
No, we just see one screen. You just need to put it at full screen when you start.
Yeah, it's not in presentation mode.
No.
Yeah, now we are seeing two screen.
Yeah, I try to change, full screen.
So you change it from display setting.
I know, but a little slow. I'm not sure what's going on. Right now it's okay, right?
Oh, we can see two screens.
Right now
So
still
it
see
is-
two screen?
Yeah.
Now it's okay. Now it's
Now
fine.
it's okay.
Now it's fine.
Yeah, a little delay. So can see the change, right? The slide change.
Yes, it's okay.
Okay, cool. Okay, then I stopped sharing.
Sanjay, you are on mute.
Yeah, I'm just asking whether my photography is coming two times on the top and bottom. Can you just let me know, because I've projected
It's coming
the
on
slide.
top right. It's coming on top right.
No
And
problem.
in top right, some text is there. CH, I think it's Chrome or something is written.
Yeah, that's the background thing. No problem.
So maybe you can little bit shift it a little bit downward so that that text is coming on your forehead as of now. Yeah, now it's better.
Okay.
Yeah, now it's better. Now again, content is cut. So I think you have to shift top only.
So this how is it?
This slide is fine. Only that's.
Now I'll go off camera once I introduce. I'll go off camera. So I'll keep this one like this, and I'll go off camera. Once I introduce, Vivek comes in, then I'll go off camera. So let me just bring in other people. Let me start this webinar. Okay. I think William is there, Vivek is there to start. For next 30 minutes, we already have people to speak.
Correct. So for now, I'll also turn off my camera.
Yes. All right. So we are about to start this webinar on Seagate massive storage and cost optimization and effectiveness. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and warm welcome to Enterprise IT World and Seagate presents webinar on massive storage and enable your big data growth with low TCO. First of all, thank you very much for joining in. As you know that the massive growth in the data over the years is happening, and it is becoming bigger and bigger every minute, every second. So managing the data with the right storage policy is becoming a concern for each of the IT leaders. You know, there is an estimation that by 2025, this data volume is going to exactly double the one or the volume that we have today, which might assume a size of 115 gigabyte. I might be wrong. I think we have got people, the creator, the innovator of these storage devices, storage technologies, Seagate, who will better explain about the growth of the data. So net, in order to understand the trend of storage, trend of data security, data storage management and stuff like that, we have got people, we have got resources, very high level people from from the industry, from the OEM side, from Seagate, who will take us through their experience or their assessment of the market. Without any ado, I'll just like other people to join in, our speakers to join in. So let me just quickly introduce one by one. We have got William Wu, head of Asia Pacific Enterprise Sales from Seagate. He's from Singapore. So we have Prasanjit Mukherjee, CIO Team Computers, who will be moderating the panel discussion after William's presentation. So we have Kushal Kumar Basne, CTO, Vorsent Infrastructure. So also Tejasa, Deputy Director, IT SBKM. Then we have got Arvind Singh, Head IT 7-Eleven or Reliance Retail. So as far as the agenda is concerned, it's a 1.5 hours agenda. We'll start with William's presentation on the storage, the challenges, the volume growth, how to manage it, how to optimize. So also keep the cost under control. Post that, he will take us through for a 30 minutes period. Then post that, we have a panel discussion around the same topic, how to manage this ever-growing storage capacity or the data that we are going to save. We are saving in different formats and different kinds of data are coming to our network, our infrastructure. Post that, we have Q&A, obviously after the panel discussion, which is for 45 to 50 minutes. Then we have got Q&A, and post that we have lucky draws. In this lucky draw, we are giving away 5 people each. It will be a spin wheel lucky draw. I've taken all the names in that spin wheel. 5 people will be receiving 5,000 each gift voucher from Amazon. With this, I would request Vivek Upman, who is the enterprise lead South Asia at Seagate Technologies, to introduce William and take the proceeding further. Vivek, over to you.
Yeah, hi everyone, and thanks Sanjay for this wonderful session. Creating this for us, and also very warm welcome to all the guest CIOs for this event. I know there's always that difficult time of the year where you're always busy with your closures. So I want to extend that greater thanks for all of you to taking out time and being part of this session. Now, this is a very important moment for Seagate. So you must have heard Seagate a lot of time, and this is one of the biggest leaders in the storage industry, the core HDD maker. But very few know that Seagate has been at the forefront of the systems. So we have been making enclosures, systems, and appliances for over 30 years now. Few of you may know that, but largely people still consider us as a component manufacturer. Now that's because our business model was like that, and we have been shipping these systems for last 30 years to OEMs. That was our business model, but that cannot be the same. The disrupting times are there with AI, ML, and the things that William will obviously take us through, and a lot of experts that are there in the panel will make us understand more or share lights that it's more important that now we work directly with the end users, the solution integrators, and experts like you. And that's why we are now here with the Seagate branding. So as far as I'm concerned, I manage Seagate's enterprise business for South Asia, and I've been there for over 6 years now. And we are really open for the discussions, how we could actually make a better proposition for massive storage, because that's what a key strength is. At the same time, at a very competitive or a lower cost. So that's something that I leave William to discuss more. So just a word on William. He's one of our experts globally, and he manages the entire solution and sales for APAC, and has a vast industry experience with most of the OEMs, you name it. So he has been, we've been quite fortunate to basically steal him out of wherever he was working on, and we are not letting him go now. So thanks, William, for being at Seagate, and thanks for taking out time for this session. So over to you now. Thanks.
Thank you, Sanjay and Vivian, right? So this is my pleasure now to participate in this event. This is William. I come from the Seagate, Singapore. Actually, as the Vivian mentioned, right? So actually we have a lot of, the experience, how able to go to this market. And actually I working for this market more than 27 years old. Okay, so I can imagine, so actually, when I get the first my PC at the time, I don't have any laptop, right? So when I working for get the first desktop, right? So I use the Seagate hard disk around the 40 megabyte. I feel it's really big enough. Okay, because at that time I use the Windows 95. Okay, and I need to use a lot free disk to install the OS. Okay, so take a lot of time. So I since the market grows, right, and I really enjoy the entire IT fast growth since last 20 plus years, right. So I think this is a very good opportunity for me really enjoy the IT transformation the growth. So today I want to share with you about my personal experience, also share some the Seagate story, how we are facing the data growth. Okay, so let me share my screen. Okay, okay, let me find. Can you see my screen right now?
Yes, the screen is visible. We're just waiting for it to come full screen.
Yeah, a little delay. Okay, unfortunately, it's So let me introduce myself as well. Okay, so I'm William. I joined the Seagate 5 years ago. So as the Vivian mentioned, right, he joined 4 years ago. So actually we work together, to see how able to close the entire Asia. So I'm in charge of the Asia Pacific business, include India, ASEAN country, Korea, Taiwan, and Australia, 5 regions. And we know that the Seagate storage, actually the majority DNA is the hard disk, right? So as you know, Seagate brand, but a lot of people don't know the Seagate actually provide the system storage more than 32 years. Okay, so actually more than my working experience, right? So I start working from the 1994, but Seagate, have the system storage start from the 1992. Okay, so today, I really appreciate your time and is able to, to join the meeting. Okay, to understand what Seagate, key focus for the storage market and how Seagate is able to optimize our data value with the best cost effective. It's very important, right? So when we look into the IDC data, right? So you can see the huge data growth. So right now we are in the 2021, it's going to move to the 2022 very soon. So you can see from 2029 to 2025, it's almost 3 times data growth. So you can imagine the data will close to 175 gigabytes. So this very, very huge data growth. And Seagate, we are global number one hard disk provider. So we believe Seagate is able to provide the best, the data device and the data system and the data management to our customer. So this is the one feature right now everyone look into, from endpoint to edge to core data center, right? So you can imagine, okay, how big data create every day, right? So for example, you can see here the vehicle, right? So I think everyone driving the vehicle, right? So when you're driving, the data will create a 32 terabyte per day. So you can imagine how many cars in the road, right? How many big data will be created. And you cannot, upload the data to the data center properly. So you have to, reduce the latency and transfer the data through the edge data center. Then from we call edge data center to data center. Okay, so this is the one thing we can believe, okay? And now it's mean the smart factory. So, I just come back from the Korea. So I meet some, the key factory customer. So they have a lot of, machine that they call AI machine to create a lot of data. So they need to do a lot of analytics to ensure those AI machine really work properly. Okay, don't make any mistake. And the Taiwan, the TSMC, right? So, they create a lot of data every day, but they have the smart factory, camera to monitor every machine to make sure they're able to operate properly. Okay, so this is the smart factory, and they've talked about the human, genomic, right? If you go to hospital, particularly right now, a lot of people do the PCR, ART testing because of COVID, right? So it means even right now, we can see, a lot of people, if you go to hospital, you have to keep your data, right? To make sure, your entire lab have the same, have the data properly, right? To really help you to ensure your health, right? So 100 gigabyte per genomic, if you have the, we call the genomic testing, right? So this is the one thing now you are really imagine how big data create and generate a day. So how Seagate is able to face in this the good opportunity and also have to provide a good product and a solution to solve the problem. So we believe, the most part customer facing the 4 pain points: complexity, effective, security, and stability. So how the storage system is able to solve these 4 points is pretty important. So this is the Seagate key, advantage. We have to address those 4 pain points to ensure your data reduce the complexity, make more efficiency, increase the security, and more important is being able to sustain your performance, when you have drive fail. So later I will talking about the more technical information, how Seagate is able to meet those 4 points. So talking about the 4 point, right? 4 pain point, you cannot solve the 4 pain point, but you increase the cost, right? So we talk about these 2 areas. When we grow the storage or we develop a new system, new storage solution, the first we need to ensure we reduce the cost of storage, particularly for the dollar per terabyte. So when you increase the data, we also understand it will be increase the data management complexity, right? So how to simplify the data management? This is also another key challenge. So Seagate have a lot of innovation data I was talking about is able to help you to reduce the dollar per terabyte, but also simplify your data management and reduce your maintenance. Okay, so Seagate drive, these two areas. Okay, so the data cost increase and the data value is always the key to area we have to looking for, right? So right now we have the difference, the model we call OPEX model, CAPEX model. Okay, it's really able to increase the cost. So it means it's not only the purchase cost, also increase the we call data storage cost. Okay, but how when you increase the stock cost, right? How you able to get the value from data? This is critical, right? So it means you need very effective, and a very powerful, storage. Either you're able to save the data quickly, but also able to digest the data value very quickly, right? So we call this a new revenue opportunity to generate. Okay, so you need to get a better value from huge data pool and also reduce the total data storage cost. So you may not know, that Seagate not only the HDD leader. As I mentioned just now, we have the 1 million system install base in place. Okay, so this is very important for us to very confident. We are the market leader. We are able to give you the better product quality, better reliability, and the better data management to sustain your business. So you can see a lot of quite big logo like Dell EMC, IBM, HPE, Veritas, Quantum, Hitachi, they have some product OEM from Seagate. But of course, Seagate, really working with them to create a lot of the new value for them. Okay. So Seagate, we very focus on massive storage. It's not for small system. We really care about, how able to provide the high density storage, like 5U, 4U, 100, 1 terabyte, 2 terabyte system for you to store the data quickly. Okay, then you can understand what the key value for Seagate. So the Seagate key value is mean we are HDD leader. So we guarantee we are fast storage go to market to provide to the customer. So right now we are first system vendor to provide a 20 terabyte hard disk into our system. So you can imagine one system with the 20 TB, right? Then you have the 1 terabyte to 2 terabyte capacity per system. If you have the multiple system, just one rack, then you have the 100 terabyte plus, right? So this is really huge data to help you to increase the data growth and also reduce the cost. The second is mean, of course, lower cost, high density storage system is mean lower TCO, right? So how help you to reduce not only purchasing cost, also help you to reduce the maintenance cost and future upgrade cost. And the Seagate also have a lot of innovation for the disk. So we have Hammer technology with a multiple accelerator drive is able to increase the LPS as also scale the capacity. So this is the Seagate portfolio. So from data management to data operation. So we have a lab platform. Actually, it's the one software as the services is able to watch and monitor all Seagate system and the device. And we also have multiple data movement, the services, okay, from the data drive, data mobile, data services, and the data and the lab cloud. So lab platform actually is the data movement is able to help you to quickly capture the data from endpoint and move data to the lab cloud, Seagate lab cloud. And the Seagate also provide a very reliable data storage. So we have the CXOs X and the E series, include same storage, durable and appliance. And later I will talk about the Cover. Cover is the Seagate fourth generation petabyte per of the disk storage. So one Cover system storage is able to, support 2 petabyte data in the one system. And we also have the lab rake, for the object storage. So of course, the all system include lab cloud or the data storage, right? You need the device. So from Seagate, we provide hard disk, provide the SSD. So you can understand from Seagate point, when you buy the Seagate storage, from device point to the software, the entire system is built by Seagate. It's developed by Seagate. It's 100% Seagate IP, intelligent property. Okay, so in Asia right now, we also going to launch the OPEX model, in Singapore. So I believe, we will expand the OPEX model, consumption model to the India in next few years. So this is the entire Seagate portfolio to help you understand. Seagate is not only provide hard disks. So we able to provide the entire comprehensive, solution and the product portfolio to you. So these are the three major, we call high density massive storage system. So from left side to right side, you can see, we have 5U84 SAM storage and JBoard. And, one system is able to support 1.6 petabyte low capacity. It's 100% redundancy. We have a very, attractive, we call adaptive technology. It's able to help you to reduce the rebuild time and improve your data efficiency. And we also have the 4U106 cloud scalar, system. One system able to support 2.1 petabyte, capacity. The throughput is able to up to the 36 gigabyte per second. Okay, and 100% toolless. So it means it's very easy to install, very easy for maintenance. And the cover is our latest product. We just announced, this year, June. And we just win the two big projects in the Europe and in Korea. Okay, so the customer really enjoy this product. So you can see the traces look similar, but we have a lot of innovation like ADR and solution is able to help you really, think about no worry-free services. Okay, so later we'll talk about more about this product. Okay, so again, the Seagate key values mean reliable, low maintenance, simple, and then less complexity, and also unify, flexibility and modularize to help you for the future data growth. So this is the one key innovation I want to emphasize. What the keys, what the key innovation from Seagate data, make sure the data efficiency. Okay, so you understand, right now we have the 20 TB. If you have the 20 TB inside have the 9 disk. Okay, so if you're talking about the traditional storage system, if you have the 1 disk of the 9 disk, right? Just one disk fail, you have to replace entire hard disk. This cost, we call it costs, the maintenance cost, right? So Seagate have the very good technology. We are able to call waterfall, from 20 TB reduced to 18 TB or reduced to the 16 TB, we still able to use. We call self-healing. Okay, so self-healing is really is able to help you to mix the difference, capacity drive in the one system. Then you're able to utilize the capacity. It's not like a traditional RAID, right? Once you have a RAID 6 or RAID 5, you have to make sure that every single disk have the same capacity. Otherwise, you cannot work together, right? So Seagate have the self-healing and the waterfall, technology is able to help you to ensure that different capacity is able to working for the same group. That able to help you to sustain the data and reduce the data maintenance. We also have the adapter we call ADAPT. This is one technology. It's based on the erasure coding technology. Okay, it's able to help you to 100+ time to fast review. So you can imagine if you had one 18 TB on the RAID 5 or RAID 6 group, drive fail, you have to spend almost 4 to 6 weeks to review. If you use the adapter, then you're able to quickly review within 40 hours. Okay, so this is already good for you to how to sustain the application performance, right? And we also have some very initial, the very special technology we call intelligent tiering. Now you don't need to, use a lot of SSD. You just use the small SSD and the majority for HDD. Then still able to achieve around 80% of the all-flash arrays performance. It's really significant, help you to reduce the cost, but also sustain the performance, right? And the real streaming and the human cache is also help you to improve the write cache. Okay, so this something something very unique innovation design to help you to grow your data, but also make the data efficiency. So I just mentioned this very large system. Okay, so you can see very simple and toolless. So when you install the system, okay, you don't see any single scoop. Okay, so it's 100% toolless. It's easy to change the disk in the chassis. Okay, and we also support 10 TB to 20 TB. So this is very important for us to help you, either if you have the cloud-based data center, right? Then you're able to use this storage, help you to significantly reduce the dollar per terabyte. Okay, so I just mentioned about the CoreVault, right? So CoreVault is the one, key unique product in the market. Since I in this market 27 years, okay, I never see any other vendor have a similar product in this market. So this is really intelligent massive capacity storage. Okay, so we have the ADR technology is able to support the disk self-healing. Okay, so you don't need to worry about the disk, the small failure of the disk. We still able to use the disk capacity to to ensure the entire usable capacity. Okay, and we also have the 14 gigabyte per second write performance. It's amazing performance. You're able to accelerate your IOPS and throughput, right? Availability, this system is a 959 availability, but actually if you use the non-services, we call the function, actually is able to support 6.9 availability. Assurance, okay, so it's 100% built in the security by Seagate SED drive. So if you use this product, it's 100% data encryption. Okay, so you don't need to worry about some people take out your disk and try to read the data. So we really ensure the data assurance. Okay, make sure the security, and this is really affordable. More important is being affordable, right? So you can imagine 1 terabyte is only less than $50 for this smart storage, right? So if you use the 20 TB, you have the 1.5 petabyte usable waiting for you. So it means when you are able to support almost 5 terabyte capacity. So we call this the 5A intelligent storage. It's really able to give you to install for HPC solution, media entertainment, private cloud, a lot of the solution you're able to use this storage to help you to improve performance, also significantly reduce the cost. So I just mentioned about the Seagate, right? So of course, we are very, very confident, we are able to first go to market for disk, right? So we understand the chassis or enclosure is the fixed pricing, right? But when you have the more and more disk capacity in one chassis, of course, it will be significant to reduce your dollar per terabyte. And the Seagate, we are very proud, we able to give you the first go-to-market. Okay, once you ask the 20 TB and the next year, then we have the 20 TB. End of next year, we have 24 TB, right? So it means when we have the new product, new drive, launch, the system will be launched together. So you will be, get the big benefit, from Seagate system. Enjoy the, the dollar per terabyte reduce. And that's mean the cost, right? So if you use the, the different chassis, right? Like, right now a lot of, the people use the 2U, but if you use the high density storage, you can see the very significant, cost reduction. So include the power, include the space cost, include installation cost and the maintenance cost, the same capacity, similar capacity, one high density storage will be around the 3 times cost reduction of you when you use the, we call the general storage system. So this really give you the better cost saving. Okay, then you're able to use those cost saving to invest your business. You don't need to spend too much money on your IT infrastructure. Adapter, I want to emphasize again, adapter is our key advantage, and the key software, is hard default on the system. We use the erasure coding technology, but we avoid the erasure coding network, the issue, close the network, right? So we try to avoid the data distribution within the network. So all data will distribute within the chassis. Okay, so this is a very good benefit for you to protect your critical data, to ensure your business consistency, right? And also very easy to expand. So for example, right now, if you just ask, the 500 terabyte, you want to increase to the 1 terabyte, right? So you just, add the disk, and the system will ask you to automatically to add the disk capacity into the pool. Then you're able to utilize, So once you add, you don't need to wait because the backend will do the initial, right? So you don't need to wait. So you can start to utilize and start to, to store the data into this, system. Adapter, another key advantage is significantly reduce the review time. So this reason why we continue, emphasize you have to use the high capacity. But some customers have the really concern, so they don't like to use the high capacity disk because review time, right? So higher capacity is mean longer review time. But once you have the adapter technology, you complete forget review time. We are guaranteed significant reduce the review time and reduce your performance impact. So usually, we can see, for the 20 TB, we can say, it's around the 20 hours windows, impact for your performance. And even for performance impact, still much, much lower than traditional rate. And Seagate is the hardware provider, right? So of course, we guarantee we design the best hardware. So when you think about the high density enclosure, it's not easy to design, quite honestly, very, very difficult. Because when your fan speed increase, right, that will cause the vibration. So the hard disk really, concerned about vibration. Near to, you can see the chart here, right? Near to the fan, too low hard disk. If you don't have the special technology, then those two line disk, the performance will significantly decrease to only 5% to 10% performance. So it means if you have the critical data on those drive, then will be big challenge, right? So Seagate, we develop our system. It's the IP, is the intelligent property, you know. So we have the we call HST shared technology. This technology is ensure the 100 disks inside is almost the same performance, no matter what data you save, right? So it's really help you to worry-free. Once the fan speed increase, or any environment change, then cause the data, performance issue. So you don't have any concern if you use the Seagate high density enclosure to design and save your data application. All right, so this is the last page I want to emphasize. So Seagate mass storage is really our key advantage. And we understand the current data growth include particularly for the unstructured data, right? So a lot of unstructured data increase to cause the data increase. But we also need to think about what kinds of solution is able to use the Seagate storage to help you to improve the efficiency and reduce the cost, right? So the first is of course backup and the archiving. Okay, so right now because regulation, okay, a lot of customer request data backup window, right? So you have a lot of data you need to backup and archive. So if you use the Seagate high density storage, it's able to help you to reduce. And we certify with the Wing, Convo, and the Veritas. So you don't need to concern how they work together. So you can search the Wing, Convo, and the Veritas to see the Seagate certification, certification, over there. And that's mean the private cloud. So I know right now a lot of people move the data to the public cloud, but I do believe hybrid cloud will be the future because the edge, right? So we need the micro edge to build a private cloud, and then after move the data to the public cloud, right? So cloud, once you build a private cloud, you need to consider how able to utilize the data storage, right? So we have a lot of joint work with the safe, like Red Hat, SUSE, Bing.io. So a lot of ecosystem partner, is certified and they use the Seagate storage to build a private cloud. And we also have the digital content workflow. Okay, we call media entertainment. Okay, so you can leverage the Seagate adapter technology, use the Seagate ADR technology, to ensure your data editing and also the data we call post editing, and also the broadcast, right? So this is very important for right now we are ready provide a good solution for the media entertainment. Video surveillance, so India, I know you have a lot of big city, smart city project, okay, and right now I can see a lot of project is actually more than 2,000 4K camera, okay, to ensure the city safety, right? So those the smart city project requires a lot of huge data, right? So is Seagate density storage is also give you the chance to ensure the data, the camera data, right, is able to save the smoothly, but also able to digest the data value from those camera. Big data, AI, machine learning, HPC, of course, is the the future as well. Okay, and we also have a lot of the good story for the HPC market. Okay, so particularly in the India, Korea, Taiwan, okay, US. Okay, so a lot education, a lot in research is the organization, they use the Seagate high density storage for HPC, OSD storage. And the big data, we also working with the, a lot of vendor, to ensure they're able to qualify. So we have the CSI interface is able to connect to the, the big data, right, for data analytics. So this is the, overview, for you to understand a little bit what Seagate mass storage is able to help you to improve the data efficiency, reduce the cost, and also reduce the maintenance. Okay, this is very important, when we're facing the data growth. So thank you so much, okay, for your time. And I do believe, once you use the Seagate storage, I'm very confident you will see the better value, better technology, and the better future for your business. Thank you for your time. So Sanjay, over to you.
All right, thank you, Williams. Give me a second. Thanks, Williams, for giving such a elaborate description about where the things are heading now as far as storage is concerned, and how Seagate, or what Seagate brings to the table for the entire IT community. So next up is a panel discussion, as the headline says, how to address the data growth challenges, which will be moderated by Mr. Prasenjit Mukherjee, CIO of Team Computers, and we have got speakers lineup, including William Liu. We have got Kushal Vasne, CTO of Versend Infrastructure. So also Tejas, Deputy Director IT, SBKM, he is into education sector, and Mr. Arvind Singh, Head of IT 7-Eleven. So it's a very good panel. It's a good mix of the panel. So one side, William can focus more on the technology and the trends, and other people, for example, Kushal is into energy segment, and Tejas in education, Arvind is into retail. So Prasenjit, over to you. I think you have got a good mix, and we are expecting very diverse answer from the experiences.
Thank you, Sanjay. Thanks, Atan, okay, for this wonderful introduction. Good afternoon, everyone, and a warm welcome. Myself, Prasenjit Mukherjee, CIO of Team Computers, welcoming you to this informative and engaging roundtable, where the discussion shall be around how to optimize the data value with cost effectiveness, which is powered by Seagate and definitely enterprise IT world. So, friends, since past 2 years, we all have traveled through our journey of ups and downs, both in our professional and our personal space. The pandemic has triggered us to think and plan differently. Business and IT leaders have started reimagining and re-strategizing, each one having digital transformation plan in their mind. Further, the pandemic has also taught us the speed at which we can transform ourselves, which is mighty fast. Being forced to change the way people work and do business has triggered many organizations into embracing a digital world at an unexpected speed. However, the challenges many organizations are facing is remote data access, and how business can provide it safely, securely, and reliability to employees, and further create a good to great experience for their customers. It is a fact that enterprises go on storing data at an increasing rate, and digital transformation initiatives, what we are speaking about, not only help to increase that rate, but add complexity by creating the need to easily access and derive value from data spread across a diversity of on-premises and public cloud-based repositories. One of the foremost pressing challenges of massive data is storing this huge set of knowledge base properly. And as these data sets grow exponentially with time, it gets challenging for IT leaders how to handle it. So as business strategists and business aligned IT decision makers, it is our key responsibility to keep our business running in different environment, challenging situation, and at a greater scale than ever before. So to eliminate tactical band-aids and costly disruption, organizations need to focus on long-term, intelligent, and smart data strategy. Hence, today's topic of discussion is how to address data growth challenges. And in this session, we will explore how IT leaders are rethinking on their data-first strategy for their business. Today, we have with us 4 esteemed business IT leaders: Mr. Kushal Vashney, CTO at Viricent Infrastructure; Mr. Tejas Shah, who will be joining us shortly, who is Deputy Director IT at SVKM; Mr. Arvind Singh, who is Head IT for 7-Eleven, which is a Reliance Retail Group company; and definitely Mr. William Liu, who is Head Asia Pacific Sales for Seagate. Now we have a different flavors and a wonderful blend of IT leaders. Okay, Kushal is from the renewable energy side, Tejas is from the education side, Arvind is from the retail, and definitely overall we have Mr. William, who is from the Seagate, who actually will throw his insights on what kind of projects Seagate has been doing in different industry verticals globally. Okay, and what are the solutions which these IT leaders are facing. So welcoming you all. So to kickstart the roundtable, let me first invite Kushal. I will come to you, Kushal, now. Okay. So Kushal, you being from the renewable energy infrastructure organization, have to manage many kind of disparate data sets. Okay, because at the end of the day, this data is needed for your organization for insights, for power forecasting. Okay, because unless you meet your target, there might be a compliance issue, there might be many SL issues. Okay, so can you tell us with your experience some actionables for a successful data storage strategy for business? Right, Kushal?
Yeah, sure. Thank you. Thanks, Prasenjit, for this interesting question. And I think I'll try to briefly answer this. Also, it's a very vast subject.
Yeah.
And you rightly pointed out in this pandemic, I think we all say whether it was a CEO-led digital transformation or CIO-led, this we can say there is a good amount of digital transformation which was led by pandemic,
yeah,
and which has forced everyone to think about data first and digital first, right? And we all have seen how at unprecedented level the data growth is there. And then Sanjay also mentioned that during his opening speech, like how data is growing. He's predicting some numbers, but he's not sure whether we'll grow at same rate or it will be some different numbers altogether. So it may be again inorganic growth. So keeping all this in mind, we are living in a VUCA world. If we say from a data perspective, so for us, first and foremost thing is confidentiality of data, integrity of data, and availability of data. So if we, and then William also, I think certain points and solutions which we highlighted when we think of our data strategy for any organization. So definitely it has to be reliable, low cost, simple and less complex, and flexibility, which is I think very much enforced by pandemic. Like flexibility is the key. It's very, very critical. Or we can also say elasticity perspective. Yeah. So those parameters are critical. William also touched base regarding edge computing. So in energy sector also, and I think it might be applicable for other industries also, edge computing is very critical. Like we can't push everything to cloud.
Absolutely.
There are things which will happen at edge computing level. So be it a SCADA system, or we are talking about IT/OT conversions, right? So operational technology. So for that perspective, local storage is required. So I don't think we can take away with that. Certain points which I always keep in mind: identification of data, what kind of data it is. So data catalog and discovery part. Classification of data, is it, do I need a high performance hard disk for that, or SSD, solid state drive, or I can manage with a hard disk, right? So classification is very important to quality and profiling part. Governance model for data is very important, and keeping in mind the volume, the variety of data, the speed at which is increasing. So those factors we always keep in mind when designing our data strategy, where we should store, and what kind of application it is. It may be a traditional ERP system. It may be a application running which is fetching data from multiple sensors, multiple SCADA systems, OT systems, and then churning out AI ML kind of thing. So every kind of data has different strategies. So those identifications are important, and then goes the basics. So our basics are backup is critical. Your data leakage preventions are very, very critical. Your DR side or HA, and we also think about RPO, real recovery point objective, or recovery time objective, RTO. So those things are very, very critical. And another very important point, which I have seen many times people forget or ignore, that is data archiving. So older data, so that we free up our compute for more relevant part. So archiving of data is very important. And security, which you also mentioned, from a threat perspective, ransomware perspective.
In fact, with the archiving, I will add there should be a policy also defined, which is a data retention policy. Okay, either you have a governance model, okay, which actually defines what is your data retention policy. That also definitely helps.
That retention is very critical, very, very critical. Retention is
Right, great, excellent insights, Kushal. Okay. Let me now come to Arvind. Okay, so today IT leaders are faced with managing different disparate set of data types and databases, all with incompatible storage characteristics across a range of storage locations. One of the success parameter for retail business, Arvind, is customer experience. Okay, when he walks into a retail outlet. So we need your insight on how to sustain and improve user and customer experience while assessing data without any kind of a disk failure or any kind of a failure, at the same time keeping the data secure. Okay.
Morning all. I'm audible?
Yeah, you are.
Yeah, so as they said these days, like data is the new oil, so data is very precious to take business to a next level. So when you talk about data, data is coming from various sources, as you said, like, with IoT and connected devices, it has, the complexity has, even gone further. So, capturing the data, as my friend said, like there should be a governance from data management perspective. How you want to, what you want to capture, how you want to capture, how you want to access, from where you want to access the data, what should be the frequency of accessing the data, what should be the model of accessing the data, how the data is kept, where it is kept, how secure it is, all those angles needs to be looked in when we talk about data. When we talk about retail, typically, I will share my experience with retail. The data starts with, where you want to open the store. From there, the whole data thing starts with, you require to put an algorithm, run an algorithm on demographics, whether the store which you are thinking of or the locality you are thinking of, whether your store is going to work there or not. So you do a lot of analytics, run a lot of analytics, capture a lot of data to even fine tune where the store should be located in terms of offline version. So the data becomes more critical from that perspective also. Once you have opened the store, then you get into the insights of how the transactions are going, what kind of assortments are there, what kind of things are getting sold, what is the frequency of people coming in, what are things which are sold more often. So all those insights give you a more perspective measures, like you can plan your assortment, you can do a FNR forecasting based on what is happening real time in the store, in terms of customer behavior, customer experience. So that's important. Apart from that, you do have in typical retail, you have sensors, you have cameras, you have IoT devices. But there are a lot of stuff getting captured from those things also to bring you next level of personalization which you want in to bring in. Because in retail, to a level you can succeed, but until you get into personalized experience engagement mode, you have a limited success. So those are critical things. Then data per se, when we talk about the storage, we talk about security, the model of storing or strategy. I personally believe there should be a hybrid strategy, going throughout cloud, or being in DC, that doesn't work. So even data storage, data management has to be a hybrid approach rather than a single mode.
That is what exactly I think Kushal also said, that the edge storage also matters.
So I was coming to that, like which technology enhancements like edge computing in place. You have a higher accessibility, higher availability of the resources, as Williams touched on, like the storage solution which Seagate is talking about. It has a HPA, like high availability, high performance storage capacity. So there is a IO involved, while you talk about the storage. It's just not storing data, but reading data also. Right. And then you talk about, what is the governance, like how at what frequency you are purging the data, archiving the data. All raw data is not information for you. So at one level you have raw data, then you take out information. That information is important for you. Then how you store, how you keep that information secure. That's another level of thing which you need to look in.
So what we understand that your data storage and then the consumption of that data starts definitely before the store opens. Okay. Historical data. Okay. Then the demographic data adds on top of that. Then comes the actual store. Then comes your to give the experience. It is not only the physical store. It is also your back-end supply chain and everything. Okay. Which should be working. Okay.
So how you bring efficiency in terms of operations, day-to-day operations of the store, the supply chain, unless you work on the efficiency, you can't bring, a faster turnaround of the assortments in the store.
Right.
So, what kind of line fill, volume fill is there? All those retail concepts play when you have the data with you, like information with you.
Okay. Yeah. Great. Thanks, Arvind. Wonderful insights. Okay. Welcome, Tejas. Okay, we were missing you. Tejas, in fact, let me come to you. We already have discussed with Kushal and Arvind. Okay. Let us come to you now. Okay. You're from the education vertical. Okay. Now, with the digital initiatives all around, over the next 3 years, the world is expected to generate more data than in the past 3 decades. Okay, because everywhere we are going digital. Now, what has been your readiness in handling such data scale projects, and want to understand your strategy on how to simplify the massive data management task?
Yeah, I think this is a very valid point, and good afternoon to everyone. So firstly, I would like to distribute in 2 parts. One is to run the current show, and one is to run the new business. So for currently, we already have some provisions, like we have made some in-house storage, wherein we have numerous admission forms. You can say whatever forms admission related or whatever institute wise, they have numerous documentations which comes in as a physical. But as a solution, we have made and ensure that we make it in a soft copy. We have a solution wherein you can say a document management system wherein we ensure that the documents are uploaded in that system, and it is been searched by the front end with the keywords. So storing the data and the retrieval of the data with the keywords is the main aspect for the current, you can say current
the metadata which is needed.
Yes. And in fact, there are numerous departments. One department which keeps on searching data on the almost daily basis, and some other which does search on the monthly basis or yearly basis. So we have to ensure that whatever data, whether it is daily or whether it is monthly, has to be retrieved. So we need to ensure that the storage has to be readily agile, and you can say responsiveness should be the key factor, wherein let's say, for example, any student comes and he wants some living certificate. So for that, we need to ensure that data is retrieved and we give it immediately. So that's how we have managed the current running show. Coming back to the show wherein we need to ensure that the future data, obviously, one of the best option is we are cloud ready. We approach cloud service provider to ensure that whatever data it comes, we have a instance in one of the department having instance saying that the data has to be on the cloud. So we are not as you can say we are freely multi-domain partners wherein on-frame or you can say cloud. So we have, as of now, we have a solution called cloud infra. And if require, if there is any compliant part wherein we need to have ensure that data has to be in our storage, then we will expand the storage and we have the provision on it. So that's how we go step by step and ensure that it is available.
Yeah. Okay, great, Tejas. William, okay, we have been listening now to 3 different industry verticals. Okay, and data growth is the #1 storage management challenge for most organizations, ahead of a range of issues such as disaster recovery requirements, cost, migration, and all these things. So data growth is estimated, as per my studies, somewhere around 26% year-on-year growth. People are looking into that kind of a growth. It may be on a multi-cloud model or storage for modern data center or edge, what people have been talking about storage there. So the companies choose modern techniques to handle these large data sets, like they compress the data, okay, to ensure that the cost optimization there, tiering of different data in different kind of a landscape, and deduplication of data also. We need Seagate's business solution for enterprise to smartly manage this kind of a growth. Okay, and we have heard from the different industry verticals, the leaders here. Okay, William.
Yeah. So actually, I just listen the voice, right? So we Seagate, we really care about the customer feedback, really care about the market, the requirement, right? So when we talk about the data management, however to help them to facing the data growth, right? So you just mentioned some the key technology like the DDU compression, how to help the to reduce the data management, right? So from Seagate point, okay, we have different thinking. Honestly, we have different thinking. So we talk about the data. When we have the compression or DDU, will be impact performance because you need a compute, right? So we have different thinking. So it means the intention is the same, right? So how to easy to manage data, assure the data. I mean the cost deduction, right? But also improve the data efficiency. So we work. So from Seagate point, okay, we have little concern. So to utilize the DDU or compress function. So we use the different technology. So we were designed from hardware point to compress the data. It's not from software. So if we from the hardware points, you are able to to reduce your buying cost. For example, if you need the compression or DDU, you need to buy very big compute capacity, right? So this of course will increase. So let me give you some example. So for the backup, we know the backup software have the compression and the DDU function, right? So we're working with like a being Veritas and the Comfort, right? Leverage their compression and the DDU function. But from Seagate storage point, okay, we don't reduce the capacity. Okay, so we want to ensure the data, when data, we call data flow, right? So once you save data, make sure you don't have any, bottleneck when you save the data. No matter, you save the big data or we call random IO or, the sequential data, right? So ensure the data flow very smoothly. Okay, so this is from Seagate point. But, of course, we also really listen to the customer, right? So I just heard, RPO, RTO, how to reduce RPO, right? And how to, to digest, the data. Okay. So like, 7-Eleven, right? So actually, we also have some conversation before, right? So from Seagate point, actually, we have the one good case, in the US. Okay. So, we provide very big data for the Walmart in the US. Very big data, Walmart. Okay. So Walmart, they really use the smart, intelligent surveillance camera to monitor all the, the guests, right? So what they can do, okay? So from technology point, they monitor the different, guests, like, teenage, young people, or, the old people, the different people buying behavior completely different. So the monitor, the percentage. Okay. So from Seagate point, of course, we are not application level, but we are storage data. So it means for us, it means once they have so many cameras, how they're able to centralize the camera data and the metadata together to the one system. So our storage is able to support hybrid data storage. So you can able to install the all-flash. You're also able to for the HDD, right, hard disk. So, but in general, how you able to optimize the data, right? So I just mentioned we have the intelligent tiering. Okay, so intelligent tiering means when you have the sequential data, like the camera data, we call sequential data, right? Then we're automatic to save the data to the hard disk only. But when we create the facial recognition, okay, they create the mixed data, right? So mixed data will save to the flash, right? Then after every 5 seconds, we will monitor, you really use those written IO data or not. If you don't, then we move to HDD. Okay. So this is really able to digest data and ensure the data effective. So this is the one case now we're talking about, how Seagate is able to help for the data efficiency.
Okay, William, there is a question from one of the attendees. I will ask Mr. Sanjay Mahapatra to unmute Mr. Arvind Kumar Sharma. And if I can read out the question, Sanjay, if you can unmute Mr. Sharma, he wants to read out the question himself. Or if you want, I can also read out the question for Mr. William.
So what's the question right now?
Okay, I will read out the question, which is from Mr. Arvind Kumar Sharma. He's asking that he would like an input from Mr. William that how Seagate is ensuring to maintain the quality of storage. As per their experience, they have received RCA from Singapore and China that there was a hard disk performance issue noted in 2021. Okay, so they wanted to understand from Seagate what kind of quality you maintain when you are actually bringing out these storages in the market. It is more of a quality and the turnaround time for Seagate.
Okay, I think it's a good question, right? So we know the Seagate have some history issue, right? So I don't want to hide anything. But actually, a few years ago, Seagate facing the HDD quality issue. Okay, but after a few years, we really simplify, our hard disk roadmap. Okay, because original, roadmap is too complicated. Okay, so right now, we only have the 2 hard disks, one's air drive and that's hidden drive. Okay, so 2 drives, just 1 platform. So we try to simplify. So you talk about the quality, right? So the wise being, if you have too many platforms, the operation, production, maintenance, is make more complicated. So right now we simplify our portfolio. Okay, so from hard disk point, we only have 2 lines. One's being air drive, 1 TB to 10 TB, and hidden drive from 10 TB to 20 TB. Then talk about the system. So system, we have the different firmware to ensure the hard disk is able to really working with our chassis. Okay, so we do a lot of the testing before we launch the new product. So this is one. The second, we also have the new innovation I just mentioned, ADR. Okay, so ADRs means sometimes the disk fail is not really entire disk fail, just maybe what's called bed setter or one disk. I talk about 1 hard drive include 9 disks, right? So maybe just 1 bed setter or 1 disk fail. If you're talking about the other system, if the disk fail or the bed setter, you have to replace the disk. You have to replace the hard drive, right? But for our ADR function, you can, we call waterfall, you're able to reduce from 20 TB to 18 TB, but still utilize. Okay, so this is the call we call it, however to utilize the drive. Okay, the second is, we have we call worry-free system technology. So we don't use hot spare. We call spare. It's not hot spare. So we preserve some spare in the chassis. Once the one poor drive really fail, even ADR cannot recover, right? Then we have some spare in the system automatically to replace. So it means particularly right now for the pandemic right now. So I'm not sure about India. So for example, Singapore, a few months ago, Singapore really get serious, the COVID situation. Okay, so we don't allow the people, government try to reduce the people travel, right? So a lot of companies don't allow the people go to office, don't allow it, right? So you can imagine if you IT management, right? Once the system fail, you get a learn how you're able to quickly to replace the disk or replace the controller or replace other component, right? So, and we also understand the most the system fail is the hard disk or SSD, right? So we have the worry-free services, the concept. It means you don't need to send the engineer to replace. So from a few points, we try to simplify our roadmap to improve the component quality.
Okay.
From innovation technology point, we also have some innovation to assure we have the function is able to reduce the maintenance. So from quality and the maintenance, you're able to improve the we call reliability and availability. So this is the key advantage or key the concept from Seagate.
Okay, great. I think we got our answer what Mr. Sharma was asking. Okay, thanks, William. Now let me again come back to Kushal. Kushal, we have been talking about data. How do we actually retain that data? How do we manage that data? Now, one very critical parameter in hosting this data is in this perimeterless workspace of today that users are working from wherever they are, okay, using whatever device they have and having whatever network is available to them. The threat landscape has increased significantly. How can organizations retain control of their data and resources and tackle the growing threat landscape while their users are dispersed across the world? And how do we avoid any kind of a data loss? So it's more on the data loss and the security perspective, okay, so that we ensure that the data is available without any kind of a loss. Okay. So yeah, Kushal. Kushal, you have to unmute yourself. I think did we lose Kushal? Kushal, are you there?
Prasenjit, we have some questions.
Yeah.
I'm unmuting one of the attendees. Will ask question now.
Yeah, sure. By the time I think Kushal will get back, Kushal can check out. Yeah.
Kushal, okay, you can. Okay, you finish up, then we'll do.
Yeah. So, Kushal.
Yeah, sorry. There was my system got hanged. So okay. I think this is one of the learning from IT perspective. Thankfully, my data is good.
Okay. So, should I repeat the question? It was for you.
Yeah. Sorry.
Okay. So we wanted to understand that, see, in this perimeterless workspace of today, where users are working from anywhere, using any kind of a device or network, how can organizations retain control of their data and resources and tackle the growing threat landscape? And how do we avoid the data loss or data leakage, okay, during this period? Yeah.
So yeah, I think this is, you rightly mentioned, like people are working from anywhere. So it's not just work from home. People are working from anywhere. So yeah, for them, data availability is a issue. They want all the data. So you rightly mentioned from a security point of view. So data security is very important. Now it's no more behind a secured parameter, which might be your office firewall, or that earlier many people were given desktops only. But now most of the people are using portable devices, which is laptop or mobile, and people are accessing it. And old organizations who have earlier not given access to data on portable devices, now everyone is given that. They were forced to do that. So one very critical point which pandemic has proved is push everything to endpoint. So entire intelligence and entire security part, it's everything is now pushed to endpoint. So your security, your be it inbuilt firewalls, your DLP, data leakage prevention, or you can say advanced DLP, encryption part. So everything has moved to the endpoint. So that's very critical because from a ransomware protection perspective or other areas, and another critical angle is we also need to have proper application blocking controls also, because people at home, some people may be installing some proxy solutions, some applications, some torrent or PUBG or those kind of things, and your data may be compromised. It may be someone might be using a crypto mining tool. So it is, so security is very critical in when people are working from anywhere. So everything has to be pushed to endpoint. So one critical element which I'm reiterating is DLP, data leakage prevention, antivirus security, which includes your web filtering, your firewall, your advanced threat protection like ransomware protection. That is very critical. Then third very critical element is data backup. And when we say data backup, it is data deduplication as well as data compression, because there is a huge amount of data, and somewhere we should be able to identify, because practically we all have seen there are many people who may be using their laptop for some amount of their personal data. Some videos might be there, something of that sort might be there. So we have to ensure how we take the relevant data into our backup part, and we don't load our backup tools unnecessarily. So how that we are taking care. So that is very critical.
So high level of encryption, either data on rest or in motion, it should be a part.
Yes, encryption is must. Encryption is must. Yes,
definitely. Right. Thanks, Kushal. Thanks, Kushal. Let me come to Arvind again. Yep. Arvind, most companies recognize that their data is a strategic asset. Okay. Now, it is the most fluid asset a business owns, because this means that it moves quickly throughout the business. Okay, and its movement is hard to control. Okay, north, south, east, west, to move around. It changes shapes and size constantly. Okay, addition, deletion, whatever, based on the policies. So, Arvind, what are the steps you take to reduce data management and maintenance complexity in your organization?
So you rightly said, like, there are, when you give data to everyone, people like to use their way, and the data size increases day by day. So when I touched on governance, the data governance part is also about how, where, how, when the data can be accessed, from where it can be accessed, who can access it, how frequently he can access it. All those questions needs to be addressed as part of that data management policies or strategy. So in our case, we were having earlier a data warehouse. Instead of that, we created data lake, and that on that data lake we created all the APIs which needs to be consumed through various interfaces. So instead of everyone getting the data, they were talking to the data straight away, they were talking to the APIs. And there was a governance team for services, what kind of services needs to be exposed, and so that people can use that information, data which is there, and you bring out information from it. So instead of giving all raw data to everyone, it's more like what set of data you want to expose to people for them to use it in business decisions. That was one part. The second part is, as I said, it all is defining about what, how, when, where, what frequency, all those aspects of data management. And then third part, as my friend touched on, how the data is getting captured, how it is protected, how it is getting processed, what is the backup policy, do we have compression policy in place or not, do we have archiving policies, regular archiving policy in place or not, because day by day data increases. So you have to control the data size. At the same time, you don't want to lose the data. So it's very intelligent investment which you need to do for managing data size and its access. So as William touched on, like, it's more about nowadays, more about HPC kind of devices, high availability, high performance, high on IO speed. So those kind of devices play a role into it.
Right. So what I can say that as a CIO, as an IT leader, one eye should be on the availability of data for the users to give the best of the experience. Okay. And another eye, how do you reduce the total cost of
Yes,
ownership.
yes.
Okay,
So it's a two-sided sword.
Two sides. Yeah. Great. Thanks. Let me come to the Tejas now. Okay, Tejas, for education sector, we need to adopt a strategic approach to digitize the documents and convert to a digital data. We already discussed. We also should ensure that this can be retrieved easily and bring some meaning to the people, okay, who are using it. What has been your strategy to convert this data, and how do you consume this data in what way? Can we elaborate on this again? Yeah.
So to start with, I will give you one of the example of my past organization. So the data was getting ingested. So we had taken one solution, and I think almost around 1 TB of data was getting ingested on the storage. So obviously front end, there was one application which was retrieving data as and when required for a compliance point of view. For backend, there was two things which we need to manage. One is the SQL database, and one is the storage part wherein we have to keep on expanding. So obviously to retrieve data, we were facing many issues like slowness, retrieval was not happening. So two sides of this solution was, one is to have the upgraded enterprise version of the database, and secondly was the database itself, wherein we need to ensure that we keep on adding the data with the same amount of chunks, and we don't have the separate storage level segregation. So to retrieve from the different storage level also, that was very challenging. So then anyhow we upgraded the database, and we ensured that we have a storage in place wherein easy expansion was happening. So one was the critical area wherein you rightly said that one is the data storage which has to be happened, and obviously once the storage is there, retrieval has to be very quick and easy. So taking this as a part of consideration, as I said in my previous chat, that one solution which we are going is the document management system, wherein all the data which has been on frame and we try to retrieve from the application. And other is the very easy way out when most of the organization is capturing is the storage part on the cloud, wherein we keep on adding data on the maybe on the one of the cloud service provider. And another is obviously the collaboration tool which we have, like OneDrive, wherein we have at least 1 TB of data on for all the users, when they keep on adding it, and as and when they require, they can also share, transfer. So that is the remote where as said that we push on the data on the endpoint side. Yes.
So another challenge, what I see for specifically for the education sector, okay, is one part is definitely, you said that the backend operations where you are doing digitization of your hard copies into a digital format. Okay. The other one is when you open up to the front end, which is more the students accessing your network, coming to the schools. Okay, so you have a huge volume of both structured and unstructured data coming into your system. Okay, that will be another thing. How do you manage, and what to retain, what not to retain? Okay, that is another thing for the education sector.
Yes,
what I
yes.
foresee. Okay, it's another thing.
Yes.
Okay, great. Okay, thanks, Tejas. Let me come to William, to you now. Okay, William, we are seeing a growing trend in a multi-tenancy data storage. We have been discussing it maybe on cloud, maybe on-prem, it may be at the edge. Now, what projections do you envisage in terms of growth and adoption of emerging technologies for managing the data, and also throw some light on the cost optimization technique? You've already spoken, but if you can just focus more in this particular question now, like how do you optimize more on the cost part, okay, and the different new emerging technologies for storage?
Yeah, sure. So for the multiple tenants, this is particular for the private cloud management, right? So the Seagate, right now Seagate, we focus on the hardware innovation, but we also focus on the data management. So we call lab platform. So you just see my presentation, right? So we have lab platform. So for the lab rig, we call object storage. We will implement the multiple tenancy technology, okay, to ensure the data management efficiency. Okay, so this is for the future domain. So right now for the lab cloud, actually it's public cloud. So lab cloud, we use the similar technology, but it's the public cloud. It's not the private cloud, right? So for the object storage, we call lab rig. Okay, will be so in terms of domain, will be available end of next year. Okay, but talk about the how we are able to optimize the cost. Okay, so optimize cost, I always talk about how to optimize the TCO. It's not only for the purchasing cost, right? So of course, if we have the more capacity per you purchases, of course, from purchasing cost, reduce the cost rate, right? But we more care about how able to simplify the implementation, provision, and how to able to reduce maintenance. And also reduce the power consumption. So these are the three key areas we also talking about, how to reduce and optimize the cost. So implementation and the provision. So we have the new design GUI, right? So once you get the system, you are very easy and simplified tool for provision. So we have the two options. Okay, one means of course you want to manually you change and provision. We also one button automatic to install. So we have two options for the automation, right? What means maximize your capacity utilization or maximize your performance. You just choose one, then automatically install. Okay, no provision. So it's also we call optimize the TCO. The second for the maintenance. So I want to emphasize again, Seagate is the unique company right now. We able to provide we call worry-free services. Okay, because we have this very special hardware innovation technology. So we're able to waterfall the disk. We're able to have hearing. We're able to support different drive in a one storage pool, right? This able to help to reduce the maintenance, particularly right now. Okay, so right now we have the maybe this is the confidential, but I know right now the number 5 global cloud provider, I cannot say who, but I know they use the Seagate this technology, to implement their big cloud data center. Okay, because they don't want to maintain. They use this technology to really reduce maintenance. Okay, and another one big Japan customer, the first digital is F. Okay, so they also implement this storage, so try to reduce the data center maintenance. Okay, so if I'm summary, about the optimize the cost from purchasing cost, maintenance cost, power consumption, and the analysis in the how to able to utilize, optimize the provision. So we are confident, we are on the way, okay, to improve. But I don't want to say right now it's perfect. But we have the roadmap in place. It's really able to move to the next phase. Okay. So right now, from Seagate point, the top priority for us is being make sure the best quality. Okay, even we know that some disks have some quality issue, as just some guests mentioned, right? But we from system level, we try to avoid the component quality impact the system quality. This is very important. So we cannot allow just one component quality. It's really big trouble for the system, right? So we design is being consolidate the all different components, ensure availability, high availability. Okay, to assure the data accessibility. Okay, so this is the key things I want to highlight here again.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks, William. In fact, we are now open for questions if people want to ask. Let people ask. There is one question which was asked at the beginning of this session. I think just after presentation, William, that one gentleman, Mr. Badri Prasad, he has asked that he is from media and television industry, and he has some interest on the Nitro product of yours. So how does it, price-wise, how does it compare with your competition? Okay, if you compare the reliability and the price-wise, if you see.
Okay, so you're talking about the pricing. Honestly, it's very difficult to talk about the pricing, right? So this really depends on the sizing, depends on the customer use case, right? But in general, we are very confident because we OEM our device to the other vendors, right? So from cost point, of course, we are very confident.
Okay.
Okay, no matter HDD or SSD, right? But if we're talking about the system level, include a lot of complexity, right? Include the, the services, include the other software as well, right? So honestly, it's very hard to say. But if you have any interest, then you can talk with the Vivek, right? Vivek, is our our India sales head, right? So I'm appreciate you can talk with the Vivek, discuss about pricing. Okay, so so pricing is easy to talk, also difficult to talk. Okay.
So Vivek is already there. He's noting down everything. I understand.
Yeah.
Any other questions from the audience?
Hello, is it audible, Arvind? Arvind this side?
Yeah, Arvind. We are.
Yeah. Very good afternoon to everyone. Just having one question actually. The question is to Mr. William again, that I just text you the question that please take it my feedback as a positive note and also a voice of the few CIOs, as I was discussing with them for quite more than 2 months. We had procured 250 laptops. The question is not related to laptop or desktop something. It's just a question of gaining the confidence, because all the CIOs already in the forum. Okay, how CIO customers as a customer gaining the re-confidence of Seagate hard disk reliability. Point is that we have procured the 250 laptops with the Seagate. We was using Seagate hard disk for more than 2 decades in terms of terminal and storage, and I remember 20 years, 15 years back, Seagate is the most preferable brand to choose by any CIOs. And I am the eyewitness of that, because I was with Johnson Matthey with 32 countries of operation, having 10,000 employees was using the same thing. And Dell EMC storage. But point is that in 2020-21, there was a slight change in the perception of Seagate customers. We procured this, there's a case study. We procured the hard disk along with the Dell laptop terminals. And there were multiple failures happened. And we have raised these concerns to the Seagate OEM from Singapore and China. And we have received a response from them that there's a hard disk have encountered numerous bad sectors, making it defective. Many instances of shock registered in the hard drive logs, and many instances critical events were registered in the logs, which will result into that. Now, I'm not going to quote, it's totally unprofessional. I'm going to quote your competitor company that this one is the best one. No, not exactly. But being the CIOs as a case study that Mr. Arvind, instead of this, they have also faced the same issues. Instead of this, you buy this as a SSD one instead of SATA, and you will find, okay, we procured 250 SSD hard disks, your competitors only. And for last 7 months, it was wonderful. I would request one thing in front of this forum, Mr. William, as being a head IT of Asia Pacific Enterprise Sales. Seagate needs to work to regain the confidence of customers, same as it was 2 years back. Otherwise, it's very hard to any CIOs to run the business, to answer to the CFOs, MDs, because laptop is the most critical part. And being a laptop, if you propose since Mr. Kushal Kumar have stated that edge computing. Point is that, yes, we don't want to deploy everything on the cloud. Definitely, we don't want. But if we will propose to the management as a Seagate Dell EMC to be procured, they will say, don't go for the Seagate, go for this one. Because RCA was given by your OEM only. So I would request one thing, that Seagate needs to work upon that. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Mr. Sharma. In fact, this feedback well noted and taken. I think Seagate will definitely strategize and go back and strategize and come back with the best of the solutions and regain the trust which we all had on Seagate for so many decades and years. Yeah. William, any input from your side?
Yeah. So I know that this data, the hard drive issue quality, right? So actually, I don't really look into we call the client drive. Okay, so we separate different business. Okay, so I only in charge of the enterprise. So enterprise, we call different branding. It means the CXOs, right? So I suppose you use the internal name we call the red. I mean the red wood. Okay, so yeah, actually I know your concern, because not only you. Okay, we get the even for Taiwan Asia OEM, they also have some feedback for the product quality issue, right? I know quite honestly, I'm not the right people, but I will escalate this issue, to our, service team. Okay, how able to, really improve the quality and really, make you the other customer certification, right? So the Seagate, the drive fail really give you trouble, to lost data, right? So I apologize here on behalf of the Seagate. I will, Vivid and we will escalate, to the service management. Okay, so from Seagate point, we really care about the customer voice. Okay, so today, we listen to you, and I don't want to say a project only. Okay, so I think we should have some people to follow with you.
Thanks, William. I think it's wonderful. There's something else coming up. Okay, Mr. Arvind Sharma, I think that you can quote his name as a part of the feedback and evidence of yesterday. Thanks, Mr. Sharma. Thanks. Any other questions? Anybody raising any hand for some other questions? I think there will be some lucky draw also after this. Okay, I think no more questions. So, friends, it was a great knowledge sharing session here where we heard our industry IT leaders sharing their data build, retention, distillation, and consumption strategy. Hence the strategic which should be kept in mind while creating your data strategy should be decreased operational costs. How can we derive insight from data? How can we boost innovation? How can we sacrificing?
Arvind, can you go on mute, please? Yeah, thank you.
How can we ensure accessibility without sacrificing the security of your data, provide manageability and scalability of your data, comply definitely with the regulations, and improve products and services. So thanking you all to be part of this wonderful session on this weekday. Thanks to all the panelists for your participation and your wonderful insights. A special thanks to Enterprise IT for hosting this knowledge sharing session. See you soon with our next topic. Till then, stay safe, take care. Have a good day and wait for the lucky draw, which Sanjay will be taking forward.
Yeah, stay safe.
Thank you. Take care. Stay safe.
So Sanjay,
thank you, everyone.
Yes, thank you, Prasenjit, for organizing or orchestrating the panel discussion really nicely.
Thanks.
Thank you, Prasenjit, for that. So also I'd like to thank William taking part nicely in a very positive and sporty manner. So also Mr. Kushal Varsne, Mr. Tejasa, of course, he took out some time from his busy schedule. Initially, he couldn't join. Thank you, Tejas. Mr. Arvind, he left. He had another meeting. Thanks to him as well. So we'll catch up later on with another episode, another kind of event. And in the meantime, as promised, we have a very interesting 5 lucky draws of Amazon voucher, and worth is 5,000 each. Let me push the button and see who those 5 lucky winners are. Post that, I'll give the podium to Vivek to close the event. So here you go. I'll just, before I push the button for the lucky draw, I'll let you know that those people who will be receiving, they need to write back to us, because we might be having same name in 2-3 companies. So in that case, it becomes a little bit challenging for us to tally the names and ship the gift voucher. So I'd request you to drop a mail. Of course, from our side, we'll try our best to find out the right person receives the voucher. So the first name goes So I believe Arvind had raised the question and he received the lucky draw. He is lucky this time. Arvind, congratulations to you. So the second winner is Mr. Balakrishnan. We will check and try to ship you as soon as possible, maybe in a couple of days' time. Balakrishnan, I'll appreciate if you drop a mail to us in my ID or Vaisali's ID. Third lucky winner is Mr. Hardayal Singh. Congratulations, Mr. Hardayal. You will receive the gift voucher soon. The fourth winner is Ashok. So wait for our mail, our gift voucher. Soon it will be shipped to you. And the fifth and final winner is Mr. Dushyant. So wait for our mail. You will receive the gift voucher very soon. It is a gift coupon from Amazon. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining in, sparing so much of your valuable time in this in this week. I know that it is very busy time for you. Still then you found time to be here and you heard a lot. If you have any query or questions, my ID is with you. Of course, we'll send you a follow-up mail. Of course, Vivek is there who will address your query on a local level. Anything around technology and around the pricing or any, finding match with the distributor or the supplier to you. Thank you very much. Over to you, Vivek. I believe you are, we are heading for a lunch time. If you can wrap up it. Thank you, Vivek.
Yeah. I would just say thank you so much for everyone to take out time for this session. And as I said, it's a new endeavor in a new form. We have been supplied to OEMs, and now we are here for the CIO community, and we look towards every questions very, very sportingly, as you've seen, and would like to get to the depth of it, to all the concerns that you have, and also all the business engagement that you would want to have. And we're really open for the discussion. So please reach out to me. I have left my credentials in the chat box, and you'll hear from me over an email soon. So once again, thank you so much for joining, and congratulations to all the winners. See you soon. Bye-bye.